Where do I see opportunities? Such a good question. Such a good question. Where do I see the opportunities moving forward? So what I think is going to happen, let's split the market into, 4 quadrants. Your lower quartile, your 2 middle quartiles, and your upper quartile. I think the luxury market's going to pull back because your doctors and lawyers and neurosurgeons who had $3 million properties with massive land tax bills bought in their personal names will no longer be able to get $100,000 or $200,000 of negative gearing benefits from one property. Those investors are going to be far better off buying multi-income properties out the gate. One winner here, I think, is going to be affordable property. So property prices between, say, $600,000 to $1.2 million, I think is going to be the biggest opportunities because they have a better yield profile. So the yield on a Victoria purchase at the moment is 4%, which other buyers agents go 4%, but when you add a granny flat, that grosses to 6%. But you're buying within, Kui of a capital city in Geelong or Melbourne CBD, depending on which region you buy in down there. So I think the biggest opportunity is going to be that $800K to 1.2 in Brisbane. In Victoria, it's going to be that $600 to $1 million range. And so the reason is they have better yields than the multi-million dollar options. Most people will still be able to afford them, even if their serviceability drops $50,000 to $100,000 for most Australians. Because at some point, all of these negatively geared properties do become positively geared. If you hold a property for enough time, rents will grow. Even if you keep the debt at the same level, you will at some point change over to neutral to positive gearing. So that's the biggest opportunities that I see. The other big winners here are pre-existing multi-income. So if you've got a pre-existing house and granny flat, they're going to become more popular because you don't have to go through the headaches of creating the asset. And you can buy that neutrally geared out the gate. So when you bring that contract to the bank, so say you buy a property for $1.2 million and the rent's $1,000 a week. If it's close to neutrally geared for you out the gate, the bank's going to see that as part of the assessment. So they're also going to be winners for people with pre-existing multi-income properties. Let's go book a session on Monday. I'm keen to chat with more of you guys. You can book in with me. So if you want to go to purposeproperty.com.au and you want help buying in Queensland or Victoria, then you can do that. So we help people buy in either of those markets at the moment. And we largely buy housing stock and we can talk you through your strategy. And so if you're interested in any of that, head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in with myself and reach out to myself and the team. You do work with me and our 2 managers. So we've got 2 managers in our business and we work directly with clients. So you might see me on YouTube and in live streams and on videos, but I am also available to clients every day of the week and our managers are 24/7 as well. So lots of help there, which is cool. Been watching your channel since I had 1,000 subscribers. That's awesome. It's been, 6 or 7 years now on YouTube. So the channel's just growing year after year, which is awesome. And so we keep going. From a tax perspective, would you recommend having a company, business, or property owned by an individual shareholder rather than a trust given 30% tax on all trust distributions? So really good question. So like I said, I've got 6 trusts myself, and I actually think they're going to change that 30% trust tax to be franked. And so I think if they don't do that, accountants will be doing a lot of back-end work to help people distribute effectively. And basically the taxes, it's about how you own it. So I'll talk you through my scenario because I can speak to my own circumstances rather than yours. But I have an operating company, Purpose Property, and that's where we run our business. So that's where we make our revenue and our profits. And above that, I have a holding company, which is through a corporate trustee. So a trust owns the shares in my company, and above that sits another corporate trustee for protection, for asset protection. Now, as you're saying, if I make $100,000 profit, and I decide to, because this is going to be the thing, in my operating company, if I decide to distribute the profits to my trust, I'll then have to pay that 30% tax. Well, instead of doing that, instead of dividending, I may pay wages directly through the business. So if I want to employ people directly through the business, is what a lot of businesses owners are going to do, and probably what the government's wanting by having a 30% tax, is to pay all the people that you were going to distribute to. So if you've got a wife and you were currently dividending to her, well, you'll employ her in the business on a contractual basis, and you'll pay her that $100,000 payout rather than dividending if they take a 30% net tax. There's always going to be ways to manipulate. I think Everyone here should have a chat with their accountants. Again, I said biggest winners here from the budget are accountants, valuers, and property developers and spruikers. They're going to be loving this off the plan, new build, gets negative gearing win, because they're not going to lower their prices. And the biggest losers here, in my opinion, are actually the new investors.